Hello, welcome back to another pen talk. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to do something a little different. It's still a pen, but this is a video tribute to WaskiSquirrel, who has a particular fondness for certain types of pens. So when I saw this on eBay, here's the auction, I said, interesting, let me see if I can get it, and I did win the auction. The pen arrived a few days later. It was a U.S. seller, and I'm very happy. So there's a little giveaway here. In the left-hand side, it's a Senator. And it's interesting coffin-type case. The cover slides off, reveals the pen, a classic Senator design. And what's really nice is this little booklet that came with it. So this is great because it's half German and half English. So evidently destined for at least an English market, and I think it was English and not American. And what I think gives it away is the little initials on this, RTL. And I think this was probably a UK media company, and this was a pen they may have given out to some of their employees. Interesting concave there at the cap finial. So this is as received, so I just wanted to show it to you as received. A nice clear, well, kind of clear, a little bit of gunk in there. Has a steel nib for the price I paid. I didn't expect a gold nib. It's gold tone, but it looks nice. You know, it's marked Senator. I don't think this pen has been used much. May have been inked once and then that was it. So we're going to do our usual cleaning it. See if I can get that ink window nice and clear. Take a little bit of tarnish off the metal bits. And see how that interesting nib on that Senator is going to write. The pen cleaned up extremely well. I understand why WaskiSquirrel likes these pens. It is extremely well made, as I knock the camera. The resin is very tough, very resilient. The metal cleaned up very nicely. There was just a little bit of tarnish on it, and it came off with just a slight buff. And it feels like that same type of resin that you'd get in a Mont Blanc or a Pelican. So, precious resin, if you want to use that term. The ink window came out very nice. The piston was smooth to begin with, but it's even smoother now. There is a little bit of ink still left inside the piston, but I'm not going to worry about cleaning it out. And you can see it leaves a little residue there. I did put a little bit of silicone grease in there just to make certain everything goes well. You know, you got your blind cap. You know, the knurl on that top there is nice to use for your fingers. And the nib unscrewed without any effort whatsoever, and it cleaned up very nicely. There's still a little bit of kind of tarnish on that plating, but it has great flow. When I did my flush, the ink came out without any effort, and that nib, I'm expecting a little bit of flex in this nib. And it's nice that it just screws in and out. That makes it easy to clean and also possibly find a replacement nib. So we're going to assemble it, figure out what kind of ink I want, and see how this nib performs. So the Senator Regent is not a large pen, but not a small pen. It's relatively short, as we have it compared to the Pilot Metropolitan, the Pen BBS 308, and the Pelican M800. As we post them, we'll see that the Regent becomes a more standard length pen, longer than the Metropolitan, a little bit shorter than the Pen BBS or the Pelican. So if a lot of people post, then this pen would be a little bit larger than it would appear unposted. The section is a nice diameter. It's all on the short side, but the threads aren't sharp, so you can really hold it anywhere along that. You can see that step in the Metropolitan. Pen BBS, I think, has a classic section on it, and the Pelikan M800, interestingly, is a similarly designed section in the fact that it's a little bit short. Threads are there, but again, like the Senator, you can hold it anywhere. Senator has about, I would say, a number 5 size nib on it. Considering it's a nib assembly, I don't see swapping nibs or doing anything like that with the pen. But as we'll do the writing sample, we'll see if that's something that you would even want to consider. So as WaskiSquirrel has found, there's not a lot of information on what company made these Senator pens. I couldn't find much either. This pen does look a lot like a Pelikan 100N. Here's some examples of the 100N, and here's some Senator Regent examples. So it's anybody's guess. I'm certain Wasky might chime in with more information if he knows some, but you know, I looked through eBay and I found this pen on sale for reasonable prices all the way to unreasonable prices. So that's quite a range, considering its similarity to a Pelikan, and I think from a build quality, material quality, it's equal to a Pelikan. My guess it was made sometime in the 70s or 80s, and the design is based on a pen that they made in the 30s. I've not found any examples of the earlier pen, but I found a lot of these examples. And obviously we'll look at Peyton Street Pens as a reference point for somebody who would sell one of these pens that was reasonable. And also Wasky's Uber Pens also has this pen available. So at the end of the day, I'm very happy I was able to pick this up, buy it from a U.S. source, and reasonable shipping, reasonable costs, fast delivery, and the pen was in excellent shape, just required a little bit of cleaning. And now it's a great writing instrument and will join my daily rotation for a while. So ink to put in it. I've decided I need a German ink in the German pen. We don't want any cultural clashes. So this ink I've been very happy with on many levels. So let's put it in the Senator Regent and see how it works. So now we're ready for the writing test. We didn't talk about uncapping, but we'll see what it's like. A little bit over 1 turn, which is fine. That RTL looks okay as these initials. They could think they were somebody's initials, but like I said, I think that's the media group in the UK. I got a pretty full fill on it. Not 100%, but I've been writing with it, so it may have gone down a little bit. It's a little short in the hand, but still usable in the hand. We'll give you those lengths. It's a fairly light pen. We'll give you those weights. And it does post very securely, very deeply, and you feel a little bit of the back weighted there. The balance isn't quite right in the crook of the hand, but it is close enough to make it very usable posted. I love this nib. I fell in love with it the first time I put it on paper. It works well with this Lamy turquoise ink. I'm impressed. Kudos to WaskiSquirrel for finding this brand, making at least me aware of it, and encouraging me to go out and find one. I'm certainly very happy. And for the price, for piston filler, this steel nib writes as good as any modern gold nib that I've ever used. Better than most. It's certainly not vintage flex, but you know, vintage flex is not what you want all the time. This could be a great everyday writer without any concerns whatsoever. So now we're going to rate this pen, and we're going to give it a 9.3. I love it. I recommend it. It's great. I respond a lot to first impressions, and I enjoy writing with this pen. And that is the best recommendation I can ever give on a pen. I mean, it feels good in the hand. You can see I'm holding it where the threads are, and that's no problem whatsoever. And it's a big enough diameter to it to hold it down close to the nib if that's what you want. Nice little lip on it. So, kudos. Great. I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy that I was able to pick this up on eBay, snag it at a really good price. I'm going to enjoy writing with it. I have a few letters that are due, and this is going to be one of those ones that I'm going to use. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. We've reached the end, so thank you for watching. You may have many great writing experiences. Explore this phenomenal international world of writing instruments that we have the ability to take in. Enjoy putting ink on paper, sharing your thoughts, sharing them with yourself later. That's even better. So we've reached the end. Until the next video, bye for now. Enjoy that ink, enjoy that nib. It's great.